Storytime with Horse Explorers. I'm Rhoda with the National Museum of Racing and Hall of Fame. And in our time together today, we are going to finish the book that we started last time, Perfect Timing, the story of Isaac Murphy. Thank you again to the author, the illustrator, and the press for allowing us to share this with you. So thanks to Patsy Trollinger, the author, and the illustrator, Jerome Legerig, and the press, Benjamin Press. Thanks so much. So if you all remember, when we finished, Isaac had begun to have some serious success as a jockey. So let's pick up his story where we left off. Isaac became famous, but it didn't change who he was. He had rules for himself that were firm. No cheating, no fighting, no swearing. And he rode every race, large or small, as if it was the most important one of his life. By the spring of 1882, Isaac was very busy, but when he met a beautiful girl named Lucy, he still had time for love. They were married that year, and some of Isaac's friends wondered if he might quit racing, because jockeys were often away from home, and sometimes the job was dangerous. Lucy understood those things and supported Isaac's love of the track. In his first year as a married man, he won 33 races. During the next few years, Isaac won a lot of important races. He won the American Derby 4 times and the Kentucky Derby twice, earning some of the nation's highest prize money. By 1890, some people believed he was unbeatable. After he won several races that year on a colt named Salvatore, there was talk that Isaac might guide the big horse to a world's record by running a mile in less than 100 seconds. Most people were certain that no horse could beat Salvatore, but Isaac knew there was one. Tenny was small for a thoroughbred. He could run like the wind. When the two horses finally met in a race, Tenny challenged Salvatore every step of the way. Even so, Isaac guided the bigger horse to a victory. Tenny's owner was furious. He demanded a match race, a special event for just 2 horses and 2 riders. $40,000 people overflowed the grandstand on Coney Island that June day. The 2 riders could not have been more different. Isaac believed that a jockey should look dignified, so he stayed cool and calm in the saddle. Snapper Garrison, the other jockey, had the riding style of a wild man. He constantly flailed the reins. At the drop of the flag, Snapper forced Tenny to bolt from the starting line. Moments later, Isaac moved Salvatore out front. Seconds ticked away and Snapper pushed Tenny past them again. It was the last quarter mile when Isaac and Salvatore regained the lead. The crowd went wild. The finish line was in sight when Isaac heard the determined hoofbeats of Tenny. The small horse had not given up. Isaac leaned forward, encouraging Salvatore. The big horse strained harder and with a final tremendous stride won the race. Isaac and Salvatore beat Tenny, and they tied the world's record. That win gave Isaac a reputation as the best jockey in the history of horse racing. His fame grew even more when he won the Kentucky Derby for a 3rd time. Now when men and boys gossiped in the horse barn over steaming cups of coffee, they talked about Isaac Murphy. Isaac continued to win races for 6 years after the Salvatore-Tenny match, but as he got older, the racing began to affect his health. Every spring, Isaac had to go on a diet to lose weight. A jockey wasn't supposed to weigh more than 110 pounds during the racing season. Anything extra would put a strain on the horse. Sometimes, after a winter of good rest and good food, Isaac had to lose 20 pounds or more. He was so determined to continue riding that he tried to lose weight too quickly. 1 cold biscuit for breakfast and a cup of hot coffee for lunch. That was all he would eat. After he fainted one day in the horse barn, a doctor warned him to be more careful. Isaac listened to the advice, but found it hard to change old habits. In the fall of 1895, Isaac was hired to ride a horse named Toto, who often finished last. But with Isaac in the saddle, he won. That turned out to be Isaac's final race. The following spring, he went on another crash diet and became so weak that he contracted pneumonia. Isaac died on February 12, 1896. He was only 35. 2 days later, more than 500 people filled the street of Lexington for Isaac's funeral procession. Many of the grandest bouquets of flowers came from jockeys who had ridden against him. In the years since Isaac's death, the racing community has continued to honor him. He was one of the first people inducted into the Jockey Hall of Fame in Maryland. Tracks in Florida and Illinois have named races for him. He is the only jockey buried on the grounds of the Kentucky Horse Park, and he still holds the record for the highest percentage of racing wins ever. 44% of all his races. That is extraordinary. Isaac Murphy is remembered as a brilliant rider whose timing was always perfect. So that ends our story, Perfect Timing. If you all have any questions about this story or Isaac Murphy, please email me at rferraro@racingmuseum.net. Check out our website. You'll see more activities for Isaac Murphy if you're interested in learning more about him. I think you'll enjoy what's there, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Thanks so much. Bye for now.